Do you want to hit us with that intro music?
The sweet, sweet intro music.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Bianca, and I won heavy bullets in a game of Wheel of Fortune.
Hi, my name is Trent, and I found PAC-MAN Championship Edition 2 in the wreckages of an old, burned-out arcade building.
Nice. And I forgot I owned that. Hello, welcome to I Forgot I Own That. This is a podcast where me, Bianca, and Trent...
Also me.
Yeah, talk about games that we own that we forgot about, maybe purchased eons ago, who knows how long ago, and we've challenged ourselves to actually play them and see what they're all about and give you our hot takes and our ratings, very, very unofficial ratings. And so we're here to tell you about two games in particular, but before we do that, we like to warm up with talking about the best things that we saw this week. So, Trent, what was the best thing you saw this week?
So this is a little bit of a lame one in that it's another one where I just talk about like a music thing, but I can't show it to you because copyright is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
So I have listened to almost nothing in the last like week or two, except this like not even new record from a band called The National. The record is called Sleep Well Beast. I think it's their like 2017 or 2016 record. And it is just so good and just hits all of the right like indie rock things that I want in my life. Even though people joke about The National being like the indie like dad band because they're all like definitely in their like 40s or something. But that's kind of also a nice thing because it's refreshing to hear stories from people in different phases of their life, I think. And like most of the stuff that Matt Berninger, who's the front man, writes is like about dealing with his marriage, like problems with his marriage and things like that. I don't know specifics.
Not something you hear in a lot of other music stuff today, except for perhaps country music. I feel like.
Yeah, well, even country music today doesn't really touch on the same.
I just feel like, a lot of other musicians they talk about relationships, but not marriages, because no one's like married.
Right.
Like...
Matt Berninger, and like he's got this like super like bassy, like almost whispery voice, which took me like a while to get into. Like I've tried listening to The National before, and then most recently, like I have a list of albums I'm trying to listen to and just like actually listen to. So there was a night where I just sat at my desk and like put on records on my nice speakers and like just fucking colored and listened to music.
Yeah.
And like something about that listening experience just made me adore this record.
Nice.
Love the guitar work. I think it's very up my alley in terms of like indie rock kind of guitar solo-y stuff. Super into the vocals now, even though it took me, a couple listens to feel that way. Yeah.
So,
quality.
Question then.
Yeah.
Do you highly recommend this over Simple Plan?
Yes. Obviously, yes.
Good.
It was a good episode callback.
Thank
Wow.
you.
What was the best thing you saw this week?
I recently got a sewing machine. Thanks, Mom. Because I had...
Shout out, Tracy. I hope you like it.
So, I had one growing up, and apparently it wasn't doing so well. So it was either expensive tune-up or just buy a new one. Also, it's across the country because I don't live in the same state as my parents.
Yeah, minor issues.
Yeah. So Mom got me a new sewing machine, and I started to pick back up sewing, which was nice. And I've sewn a couple masks, ones that like tie, and I just got a couple patterns, and my mom sent me another pattern for like a simple skirt, so I'm gonna actually try sewing like clothing, which is not something I've done like entirely by myself, so I'm very excited about this. I like the fabrics that I got, and hopefully I don't mess it up too much that it's like unwearable. But
Only time will
luckily,
tell.
the fabric I got was on sale, so like super sale. So if I do fuck it up, it's not that much of a loss.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. So, I guess it's me
Yeah.
to talk about my
Yeah,
game.
I'm a mess when it comes to remembering the order of our own show. Yes.
That's okay.
What did you play this week?
I played a game called Heavy Bullets, which
Okay.
is it's a roguelike first-person shooter game. It was developed by Terry Velman, and it's published by Devolver, who is a pretty well-known publisher. They've done Enter the
Yeah.
Gungeon and the Hotline Miami series and a
Bunch of
bunch of other
action-y,
stuff.
especially
Yeah.
roguelikes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it was released in 2014.
Okay.
So yeah, as I mentioned, it's a first-person shooter roguelike game, which means that when you die, you have to start completely over in the game. There's no there is in a sense saving your progress in this game, but not like you die and you can go back to your spot.
Right.
If you make it to a certain kind of like checkpoint in the game, you're allowed to save and quit there and come back to it, which
weird.
is nice.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's like a little different from a lot of roguelikes. But the premise of the game is there's like a security mainframe that needs to be reset in this building that like you work in
Sure.
or something. And there's 8 floors and you have to get through all like 8 floors to reset the security mainframe. And you just have to, oh, there's our dryer singing to us.
Do you think it's going to keep doing that?
No, I think it just does it the once.
I guess this will be the test. live on recording.
Our dryer singing. But yeah, so there's just like 8 kind of large levels to the game. And once you're done with the 8 levels, then ta-da, you beat the game, sort of thing.
Muzzle tough.
Yeah, so it's like each level is a maze, and it's generated differently every time.
Okay.
So you have kind of a maze, and there's enemies spread throughout, and there's some like vending machine kind of stations where you can buy certain, like you can buy heals or like extra ammo, stuff like that, or there's a whole banking system, which I will get to.
Sure.
So you have to go through this maze, and you are equipped with a single pistol with like maybe 3 ammo in it. And so you have purposefully very limited ammo,
Yeah.
and when you kill an enemy, it drops money and ammo. So that's how you keep getting ammo, is by like killing things, because it kind of replenishes your supply.
Yeah.
But you have to be really conservative with aiming correctly, because if you spend, all 3 ammo trying to shoot one enemy, then you're only going to get a couple back, and you basically have to do like one shot everything
Okay.
in order to be on top of your ammo supply. It's not hard to do that though.
Okay.
So yeah, you have your bullets and your money, and then you can just like you go through and you kill things, you get
Yeah.
some items, you hope for the best that you don't die.
Sure. That is us most of the time in
Yeah.
all situations.
Yes.
Hoping you don't die.
So it's simple. Things I like about this game. What I remembered of it, because I had never played it personally, but I'd watched like friends play it before. And it kind of spooked me, because the people that I watched play it liked to go almost the speed running route of it, in which they just did everything really quickly and were just kind of almost like jump scared, bombarded with enemies. So I only remember just being really spooked by this game.
Huh.
But you don't have to play it that way. I think there's an achievement to like complete the game in under 25 minutes or something. Not my style.
Yeah.
So I can kind of go slowly. What?
This is a surprise to me, since you are usually the all guns blazing.
But it's because enemies do just kind of like, you turn a corner in the maze and an enemy will be there. That legitimately spooks me. Even when I'm going slow. So like, I'd rather just like gently peer around a corner. And because the thing is that the enemy is like they see you right away and they make this really weird sound. So like it's mostly that. It's they're like ah! And then they like immediately charge you.
So what are the enemies? Like you've just vaguely referred to them as the enemies.
They're weird. So the other thing about this game is it's very, I mean, it's lovely, like bright colors, but it's almost very like blockish and almost like if you think like a vintage game style, but 3D.
Okay, so maybe it's like a voxel graphic or something?
Something.
Where it's made of cubes?
Yeah, it's like very like cube-like in some sense, but there's curves and everything. It just has a more block-ish look to it.
Okay.
Like bright, vibrant, block-ish look. So there are like imps, which are the main enemy, and they're just these black, creepy things with yellow eyes and big teeth. And they just kind of look like black circular blobs that charge to you.
Sure.
There's little like worms that hide in plants. And so those fuck you up because like I actually had to learn how to look for them because I would just be walking around and I'd see the imps because they're very obvious. Sure. But the worms, they don't attack you until you're like on top of them. So you'll walk by one and then it'll attack you. But it's not easily seen. So I actively look at plants now because they're usually like a similar color to the plants. Yeah. And they just kind of sit there and they just kind of slowly wiggle side to side. So you just have to look for a little bit of movement and then shoot at it and then it's gone. Those are the main ones. And then when you get to higher levels, there's like other things. I've come across, there's also these like, I don't know, computers almost, like these like computer turrets that like when you go within its line of sight, it's like, it legit looks like a computer monitor raises up from this like box and it shoots at you. So then it has a colorful box next to it that you have to shoot in order to disable it and like break it.
Sure.
Those are the ones you'll see on like level 1. But when you get to the higher levels, there are other weird ass things that I've only come across 2 new ones in what I've been playing. But there's a decently hefty list of enemies. But those are the ones that are like pretty standard. So going back to it spooking me.
Yes.
So I would watch people and they would try to like speed run it and it would just spook me. But then I learned that that's not how you have to play the game. So I go at my own pace and I'm much less spooked. And I actually kind of had fun with it because watching other people play it, the way they were playing it, I wasn't enjoying it, but I was actually kind of enjoying it, which was good. And like I mentioned, it's like colorful and has a very just interesting kind of like artistic style and like vibe to it that I enjoy visually.
Yeah, so I didn't like watch you play that much, but it like I shouldn't come right out and say it. Like it really just makes me want a VHS aesthetic Paul Blart Doom crossover.
Whoa!
Because that feels like real close to what's going on here.
Actually, kind of, yeah.
Right?
I see the Paul Blart. Yeah. I get it. Oh, man. Someone make that. Someone make that in the world.
What? Or I would also accept if someone just modded this game.
So you're Paul Blart?
Yeah, it's just Paul Blart.
Oh, man. If anyone has the ability to, like, do a game mod for Heavy Bullets, add some, like, Paul Blart, like, little voiceovers in there, some quips. Maybe you can ride on a Segway. Maybe that can be an item that you get, ride on a Segway. Because they do have like running shoes. Instead of the running shoes, get the Segway.
Obviously.
Yes.
We've just improved this game. I feel like 100%. This should just be a game improving podcast, but like every piece of advice is always just add Paul Blart.
Yeah. How can we add Paul Blart to this game?
You know, Minecraft, like, it's really good. Like, I really appreciate you pitching it to us. We're Microsoft, by the way. We ended up buying Mojang, who made Minecraft.
Yes.
Backstory to this bit. But have you considered that you're just Paul Blart the whole time?
I like it.
Or should the zombies be Paul Blart? Oh. And it's like an inverse Paul Blartning situation.
Like you're just overwhelmed by Paul Blart.
Exactly. I mean, that seems a more accurate depiction of how we feel in our day-to-day life.
But I don't know, because Paul Blart is such a nice guy, and he's just trying to protect his mall. So I feel like it's a disservice to the personality and just existence of Paul Blart to have him be like the multitude of zombies that attack you in the night.
I see. There's only one true Paul Blart.
Yeah.
And we can't forget that.
Yeah. Is there like, I don't know, some sort of great wizard in Minecraft or something? Some like side mission in Minecraft where there's only like one wizard. Maybe Paul Blart can be the wizard.
There's not, but there is, and you can stop me if you think this is going too far.
Okay.
But there is a giant flying dragon. What if we just replace...
Oh, is that the thing that Ryucar...
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
What if we just made the head of the dragon Paul Blart's head?
That is pretty aggressive, but I like it.
Okay.
I like the idea of Paul Blart being this dragon.
Okay, good.
Yes. All right, see, we've already improved Minecraft, too.
Yeah.
We're doing great things
This
here.
is what Microsoft should have said originally before they bought Minecraft.
Yes. All right. Back to heavy bullets.
Is that why we're here? I thought we were just adding Paul Blart to different games. I thought that's what this podcast was.
Well, we can talk about Paul Blart with your game when we get there if you would like.
Now you're talking.
Oh my God.
Speaking my language.
So, colorful, fun vibe. Another thing I like, which I said I would get to, and now here I am. There's like a banking system. So there's multiple types of vending machines. There's the kind that gets you things to heal yourself with.
Okay.
There's the kind that gets you ammo and other related weaponry. And then there's the bank. So this is another thing which kind of makes this game different from a lot of other roguelikes, in that you can deposit money that you've acquired from the enemies that have dropped the money, and you'll save it in the bank. And on another run, a completely different run, where you've died and you're starting a new game, that money is still there. So you can withdraw money from previous runs.
This
And
raises
deposit.
an interesting question.
Yes.
So, because this reminds me of Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar, but Majora's Mask. In that game, you're on like a 3-day loop,
Yes.
like Groundhog Day situation.
Yeah.
So of course it makes no frickin' sense that like if you deposit money on day 3, you can access it on day 1. We're not going to get into that. So my question is, when you start a new run in Heavy Bullets, like, has the previous Paul Blart died and you are just a new Paul Blart?
I
or is
think
this like a
so.
Paul Blart Groundhog situation?
I think that you're a new Paul Blart.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. I think I could be wrong because I've only paid attention to the opening brief dialogue like once. But I get the vibe that they're just kind of sending like you, the expendable human of this company.
I see.
So like you die, they'll just get another one to try to do the security reset.
Gotcha.
So
Not to further dig ourselves into this same bit, but that does kind of defeat the whole there's only one Paul Blart motif we had established earlier.
yeah.
It's kind of a problem, but I
That
guess
is a problem.
It's why this game isn't Paul Blart themed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We figured it out.
So there's the money part. So you can just kind of gradually deposit and withdraw money as you want across all your runs, which is nice if you're having kind of a rough drop run where you're not really getting anything and you need some health or whatever. So in that same little banking system, there's a brief little like shop area. You can sell, there's a couple items that you can get throughout the maze that are just ore that you can sell to get money. So you can sell them there.
Sure. Okay.
You can save exactly, I think, only one item from your inventory. So you can keep that in the bank and take it on other runs as well, which I find interesting. And they have like wills and like life insurance policies, which help you when you die, either give you back some money or your items,
That's so goofy.
which is yeah, very goofy, but also very, it just kind of breaks my traditional notion of roguelikes, and it is cool. As for some quirks that I don't have a whole lot of like bad things to say about this game. It does still kind of spook me depending on where the enemies are. It kind of jump scares me, and I don't think it's like at all on purpose. It's not meant to be a scary game. I just spook real easily.
Yes.
So like if I turn a corner,
it is known.
Yeah, if I turn a corner, there's an imp there, and it all of a sudden looks at me, then I'm just like, but so sometimes I get a little jump scary, but it's fine. There's no tutorial to this game. They just drop you in there, and you have the controls that you can refer to, but that's about it, which is fine. You don't really need it because this game is so simple.
Yeah.
I just perhaps would have liked a little bit more guidance on the wills and the life insurance.
Yeah.
Because I would like put my money towards it, just being like, I have extra money. I guess I'll do the $10 for the life insurance. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this does. And then there's like one game in which I bought both the will and the life insurance, and apparently when you do that, they cancel each other out or something. And so I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I still don't quite understand that, and I don't know if the money just goes into my bank account when I get some back. I don't know. I don't know where it goes, where the money goes, because I've died. It's not like I have it. So a little bit of guidance on that would have been nice. But other than that,
yeah, let this be a lesson. Make sure you have a lawyer when you're setting up your will.
Yeah. Man, that would cost probably like $100 in game. Hire a lawyer, that way they can help write it for you.
It's just like a piece of equipment you can buy from a vending machine. Is a tiny lawyer to sit on your shoulder and tell you what to do.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's Heavy Bullets. It's very simple. What did you play?
So this week I played Pac-Man Championship Edition 2.
Hell yeah.
Apparently there's more than one of these. So this is, it's a Pac-Man-ish arcadey like maze game. You know Pac-Man, you know him, you love him. Mm-hmm. He's back, but he's not doing exactly what you think he's going to do. This particular version was released in 2016, made by Bandai Namco, just like all other Pac-Man stuff. Mm-hmm. This is like on all modern consoles for some reason. Switch, PS4, Whoa, Xbox really? One, and also PC. Yeah, I don't know.
The masses call for Pac-Man.
They crave that yellow ball. Is he a ball? I guess he's a ball.
Yeah.
Ball minus small portion, I guess. I don't know. So this is essentially a variant of Pac-Man. The way I describe it is that it is specifically built for clubbing and poppin' Molly.
Yeah.
Mostly just based, first of all, my only real experience with like clubbing comes from the show Skins from the UK.
Yeah.
Where they go to like, I assume, over-dramatized versions of underground clubs and things for teenagers where they do lots of hard drugs.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story. And as far as I'm concerned, you could definitely swap like any of the music from the soundtrack into those scenes, and I think it would go over fine. I don't think anyone would notice the difference.
The music is popping in this game.
It's really popping. Yeah, the main menu theme is like 3/4 of the way to just being Sandstorm by Darude.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's that perfect, like, vintage EDM, like, house, like...
And then, I think the best part is you open up the game and you're like, Bianca, listen to this music. And so we're like, jamming to it. And then you can tell that there's going to be a drop. We're like, wait for the drop.
It's very so good. Yeah, highly recommend, like, next time you have, like, a really dope-ass party, like, post-COVID, everybody gets together because we can do this now and it's not dangerous for anybody's health. Just blare the Pac-Man Championship Edition main menu theme. You will not be disappointed. So I was a little confused starting this game because, I have an idea of what a Pac-Man game is. And it drops you immediately into a fairly deep iterative tutorial.
Oh.
Which I was like, well, it's weird. It's Pac-Man. Like, what you got going on here, fam? And then I slowly realized after a couple of those like little like tutorial mission kind of things, like it doesn't really like it only kind of resembles a Pac-Man game. in terms of like everything about it. So in this game, well, I guess let's start. So a Pac-Man game, you know, you're dropped into a level. You have to collect all the dots while avoiding the ghosts. You get the big dot, and the dynamic is changed, and you can eat the ghost for bonus points. You clear out all the dots, the level ends, or you go to the next level, or however, whatever. Choose your flavor of Pac-Man at the time. So this game, somewhat similarly, has rounds on levels where you collect things. That's kind of the end, and there's also ghosts, but that's kind of the end of the similarity. So in this game, you're dropped onto a Pac-Man style level. There's mazes, there's dots, whatever, and your goal is to eat enough of the dots to fill up a gauge. Sometimes it's all of the dots, sometimes it's less than all of the dots, to summon a fruit or some other like drop pickup item that when you get it, it punts you off the level to another level, another maze.
Okay.
And the goal of this is to rack up as many points, i.e. go through as many of those different levels as you can in a set amount of time. So like for the standard game mode, it's, I want to say 5 minutes. So you're going through as many levels as you can, getting as many points as you can before the time is up.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different, there's a freaking bajillion different variations of this in this game. There's like something like in the arcade mode, which is essentially what I've just described, there is like, I don't know, 10 levels, each with like 5 variants of difficulty. So like that changes the amount of ghosts and how quick it goes and blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of different variants. So then the other big change to the game is the way the ghosts work. So in old school Pac-Man, there is some quantity of ghosts that fundamentally all work the same in terms of how you interact with them. You get the dot, you can eat them, whatever. So in this game, they introduce ghost trains, which unfortunately is not like a spooky train. It's just like multiple ghosts in a row.
But I would love it if it was just a spooky train.
Would be good. So the ghost train, the way that works is on the levels, in addition to the dots of various kinds, there are like ghosts that are not the main ghosts. So there's like Inky, Blinky, Bonnie, and Clyde, or whatever the hell their names are.
I didn't realize they actually have names.
They totally have names. Inky and Blinky are definite ones.
Well, now
I think one is called Clyde because I remember that being super funny compared to the other ones, but I don't think there's one called Bonnie because that would be really weird.
Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde.
Okay, I was pretty close.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, so they have names. And
Sorry, they have different names for Japan.
oh,
Fickle, Chaser, Ambusher, and Stupid.
nice. Well, actually, I was going to say the reason they have identities is because they're programmed differently in the original Pac-Man, and those names allude to like their personality in the code.
I gotcha. Okay.
This doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So these ghosts scattered across the level are different than those ghosts. They're like outlines of ghosts, and they act as like soft barriers. In that if you like bump into them, they'll move out of your way. But then once you get either too close or you bump into them, they go latch themselves onto one of the main ghosts. Your Inky, Blinky, Bonnie, and Clyde, or whatever their names are, to form the ghost train. So now the ghosts that roam the levels are longer. Think like Snake in terms of how they, it's a trail, it gets longer, whatever. And now when you get a big dot, which also comes from filling up the gauge, I'm a little iffy on like when exactly, like if it's random, sometimes you fill up a gauge, it's fruit, sometimes it's a dot, whatever. When you get the dot, then you can, if you hit the front of the ghost train, you eat the whole train.
Nice.
And you get these ludicrous, like, combo animations of you chomping the ghost chain up to infinity and beyond. Like,
amazing.
It's super nonsense. So that's how the ghosts work in this game. It's a little bit different. So there's game modes. There's the high score mode and the adventure mode. The adventure mode is functionally the same, but they give you, like, specific tasks to do.
Okay.
Like, eat 4 fruits, eat all the ghosts, get this many points. different stuff like that, which I did not enjoy at all. We'll get there in a second. So good things about this game is that we've already described this. Music is absolutely bumping.
Yes.
It's great. The visuals are really cool. Like it's kind of a pseudo 3D animation. And there's, like I said, those really over the top animations when you do like the combos of eating the ghosts and like all this stuff. Like they're really flashy. They also do like a pretty good job varying the level designs. I mentioned there's a bunch of different like levels you can do the arcade mode in, and they all have these different quirks. Some of them have like a lot of like teleporting pads. Some of them are like super gridded. Some of them are more like the classic Pac-Man levels. So that's kind of nice. I just kind of played through all of those to get a feel for what the game was. And yeah, I mean, it's hectic. It's fun. It makes your brain hurt a little bit, but it's just kind of silly.
Yeah.
In terms of things that I don't like about this game. So because of the way the levels work, like a lot of them are really busy. There's lots of cross sections, like intersections and all this other stuff. When you're trying to hunt down something that's fleeing from you, like the ghost trains, or sometimes the fruit and the super dots like will spawn in bubbles and they'll run away from you, so you have to like cut them off. Like I feel like I'm just guessing. Like it's really hard to actually form a plan to cut the ghosts off.
Yeah.
Because they have so many options for turning and everything's so fast. And like if you miss, then you just hit the train and either get stuck or like you have to wait for it to go all the way around again. So I don't find that very fun. Same with like tracking down. Like the reason I didn't like the like adventure mode was because a lot of the times it was tracking down the stuff that evades you on a really, really strict time limit.
Oh, okay.
Which is not fun.
Yeah.
Like just not fun for that same reason.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm just guessing. I don't feel like I can actually properly like plan. There's too much stuff going on. The game goes too fast. Another kind of annoying thing is probably all no, because I think each individual level you have your own time limit in adventure mode, but in arcade mode there's the 5 minutes, and they include all animations and like level swaps in that time. So like they count against you. So like you'll have 10 seconds left and I'm like, okay, cool, I can finish this level and then like, you know, do a lap and get some dots in the next level.
Yeah.
But by the time you're in the level, like time's up. So that's kind of shitty. I feel like that should not be the case. Like you should only really count the time that I have control over the character in your time limit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird. But other than that, I mean, in general, I'm not super motivated by games where like really it's just a high score grind game. Like that's not my vibe. So like I played like 2 hours of this and that was plenty. I tried each individual level. I did 1 or 2 of the variants. I did like, I don't know, only like 3 levels of the adventure mode because I didn't enjoy that at all. And I like don't ever feel like I need to go back to that.
Yeah.
Just because I know it'll be more of the same. But yeah, if you like yourself an arcadey game, if you are a Pac-Man stan who, you know, is feeling a little fatigued by the Jolly Yellow Orb and want some a little spicy, this will do it for you. I don't know.
You want something spicier than original Pac-Man, but not so spicy that you're playing like Smash Bros.
Yeah. Don't be crazy here. If you want something that's like Pac-Man, if you squint really hard, like this is the perfect game. That's pretty much all I got for this Pac-Man.
Before we get to the ratings,
yes,
how could Paul Blart make this better?
So I'm imagining you swap Pac-Man for Paul Blart, obviously.
Sure.
That's the easy example.
Of course.
You theme the levels off of the insides of department stores. So all of the barriers are now, you know,
like clothing racks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the ghosts are hooligans or street youths, if you prefer.
Meaning the young teenagers that just hang out in malls.
And chase you down because you're Paul Blart. They don't trust you. They want you out of their Macy's ass summer sale. Like,
but this is the thing, is like when you are 14 and you're in that age in which you're hanging out in a mall, you just walk around the mall. Like, you don't really go in store. Maybe you go into, like, Hot Topic.
Accurate.
But you just do a lap around the mall and, like, eat snacks. Like, hang out in the food court. Like, yeah.
Okay. I have an alternate proposal.
Okay.
So I feel like if you were to play Heavy Bullets as a Paul Blart Doom crossover, and you were to play it from a top-down perspective...
Oh, okay. Getting spicy.
You are
here.
like almost to it just being Pac-Man again. Like visual aesthetic in terms of running around. I mean, like, I guess you would have to remove the gun from the equation, but you can just like give him a segue, you can mow him down. Like,
yeah.
That's the end of that thought. I didn't really. I made the connection, but I didn't really know how to bring it home.
I mean, basically, we just created a better version of both of these games by combining them and adding Paul Blart.
It's a great call. Wow.
What would you rate Pac-Man? Championship Edition 2 or Extreme, whatever.
I mean, it's fine. It's not my thing. I'll give it like 5 small blue keys out of 10.
All right.
That's one of the things you can get to like launch you to the next level,
Sure.
which I found very confusing because they explicitly say at the start of the game, look for the fruit. Keys are not fruit.
Not
So the
unless
first
you
time I
want
saw that,
them
I
to
was
be.
like, is that what I'm supposed to get? Like,
Anything
that's
can
not
be
a
fruit if you
strawberry.
just believe.
Anything's fruit if you're brave enough. Wow. What would you rate Heavy Bullets?
I'm going for a 7 out of 10 life insurance policies. It's a solid game. It's not, there's nothing that makes it amazing, but it's solid.
Sure.
Yeah. What are you playing next week?
Next week, I will be playing Endless Space 2.
Ooh.
And I know what this game is because I have played the tiniest amount of it. It's like a Civ-like strategy game, but in space.
Okay.
What are you playing?
I have another game similar to that I've been wanting to play, but is not that game.
Are you sure?
It's called Stellaris. But I think it's more complicated. Unless it's not Civ-like. That's just how it was pitched to me.
Maybe it is. What am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of your Everybody's Dying in a Spaceship game. Never mind.
Space Food Truck?
No, the other one. There's dice involved.
Oh, Tharsis!
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. So I know nothing about Stellaris. Don't tell me.
I'm playing Gnog? Nog? Nyog? How do you pronounce this?
Gnog.
Gnog. Yeah, I'm playing that game. Gnog.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe I can Google the pronunciation of this game, but that's what I play. I know nothing. I just know it's in the Steam library, and I'm playing
yep,
it.
That is how this goes.
It sure is. I'm excited to see what happens, but also a little scared.
Good. You should be. It's always nice to be a little on edge.
A little bit.
Then you're never caught off guard.
Yeah. That's it for us. Catch us on the social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter at IFIOT Podcast. Or is it just pod? I don't remember now. I'm pretty sure it's podcast. You'll find us. You'll find
Have
us.
it linked to the episode description if you really are thirsty.
Exactly. Rate us on the Apple podcast if that is how you listen to us. Or if you don't listen to us, but we could use a rating, that'd be cool. Is there anything else I should plug?
I think it's okay.
Great.
Bye.